Projectile on inclined plane. Here we will discuss when a particle is projected in a uniform gravitational field on some inclined plane like mountain or an inclined surface which makes some angle with this horizontal ground. This is the particle when we project it, it moves on an inclined plane from here. It strikes the inclined plane at some angle. This is called projectile on inclined plane. Now watch the locus of the particle when projected on incline. Now we will discuss its motion. Now suppose this particle, as we have seen this video, where the particle is projected, let the point of projection be origin. This is our origin. Let this be x-axis, this is x-axis along the inclined plane, and this be y-axis. The particle strikes this ground at some distance here. Let this angle, it is given, this angle is beta. Let the particle is projected at an angle alpha with the horizontal ground. This angle is alpha. This angle is beta. Now as we know, we can say this angle is alpha minus beta. So the velocity of the particle is v naught. This is the speed of projection. It is projected at an angle alpha with the horizontal ground. The inclined plane makes an angle beta. So the angle made by this projectile with x-axis or with incline is alpha minus beta. Now if this is alpha minus beta, we can say Vux. Ux is V naught cos alpha minus beta because this angle is alpha minus beta. So this is Ux. This is Uy. Uy is V naught sin alpha minus beta. In the same way, we know acceleration due to gravity will always act vertically downward. So one component of g is in this direction. This is g sin beta because we know this angle is beta, so this is 90 minus beta, and we know cos 90 minus beta is sin beta. And the other component of g perpendicular to the inclined plane is g cos beta. So acceleration of the particle when it is in air along this incline is minus g sin beta, and the Ay is minus g cos beta. Now we can say the acceleration of the particle along x-axis as well as along y-axis is constant. So we can write Vx is equal to Ux plus Ax into t. Vx is the velocity of the particle at any time t. This is Vx. And this is Vy. So we can say Vx is the velocity along x-axis which is equal to Ux. Ux means it is V naught cos alpha minus beta. Ax means minus g sin beta. So I will write here minus g sin beta into t. In the same way Vy can be written as Vy is equal to Uy plus Ay into t. So from here we can say Vy is equal to Uy. Uy we know Uy is V naught sin alpha minus beta. Ay is minus g cos beta and t. This is the velocity along x-axis and this is velocity along y-axis at any time t. This Vx is along inclined plane. Vy is also perpendicular to inclined plane. In the same way we can say displacement. The displacement along x-axis can be written as x which is equal to Ux into t plus 1 by 2 Ax into t square. So x coordinate is Ux. Ux is V naught cos alpha minus beta into t minus half Ax means g sin beta into t square. So this is our x coordinate as a function of time. In the same way y coordinate is Uy. What is Uy? Is V naught sin alpha minus beta into t. This is alpha minus beta into t plus 1 by 2 Ay. Ay means g cos beta into t square. This is our velocity displacement along y-axis at any time t. This is displacement along x-axis at any time t. Now, when this particle which is projected on ground strikes the inclined plane, when this particle strikes the inclined plane, the y coordinate, since this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis. So this is the highest point from the inclined plane. So this is y max. And in the same way, y max is also called maximum height from inclined plane. That is represented by capital H. And this y max can be calculated by putting, we have to first calculate the time when the particle is here. Let this time be t1. At this instant, Vy becomes 0. So I can write Vy is equal to 0 at y max. So from here we can say t is equal to, that is t1. Now y can be Vy. From here we can say Vy, if I substitute Vy as 0, we get t as V0 sine alpha minus beta divided by g cos beta. So I will write here t1 is V0 sine alpha minus beta divided by g cos beta. In the same way, if I substitute the value of this t in this expression y, I will get the maximum value of y. So y max is equal to V0 sine alpha minus beta into t1 minus half Ay means g cos beta into t1 square. So if I substitute the value of t1, this V0 sine alpha minus beta divided by g cos beta here, it will give me y max. Y max means the maximum height of this particle from the inclined plane. This is maximum height from inclined plane. This is not the maximum height from horizontal ground, which comes out to be V0 square sine square alpha minus beta divided by square sine square alpha minus beta divided by 2g cos beta. This is the maximum value of y coordinate. This is the maximum value of y coordinate attained by the particle during entire motion. Now when the particle strikes the inclined plane, at this instant again y becomes 0. So if I put y is equal to 0, it will give me time, and that time is called time of flight. So from this expression y, if I substitute y as 0, I get time, that is t, which is equal to 2v0 sine alpha minus beta divided by g cos beta. This is the time of flight of the particle, this time for which it is in air. If I substitute the value of t in the expression x, x means that is equal to v0 cos alpha minus beta into t minus half g sin beta into t square. From here, this is our x. X is v0 cos alpha minus beta into t minus 1 by 2 g sin beta into t square. So if I substitute this xt in this expression, I will get the maximum x on inclined plane. This is also called range on inclined plane, which is equal to v0 cos alpha minus beta into t minus half g sin beta into t square. Here t is the time of flight. If you calculate it, it will give you the range on inclined plane. Now we'll discuss when a particle is projected from the top of an inclined plane, as shown in this figure. See, this is a particle, it is projected from here, it strikes the inclined plane at some distance. Now acceleration due to gravity is g, which is acting vertically downward. So we have to calculate the distance, the time of flight in this case when a particle is projected from top of an inclined plane. Now if we project this particle from here, let this point be origin, this be our x-axis, this be our y-axis. Now acceleration due to gravity will act vertically downward. G will always act vertically downward. So this particle is projected with some speed v0. This is v0. It goes like this and strike the inclined plane at some distance. In this situation, if this is beta, if this is alpha, alpha is the angle of projection from this inclined plane. So I can say in this situation ux is v0 cos alpha, uy is v0 sin alpha, ax is g sin alpha, g sin beta, sorry, ay is minus g cos beta. Because ax is in this direction, this is ax, whereas ay is opposite to that of y-axis. So ay is negative. I am assuming this direction as positive and this direction as positive. X-axis in this direction is positive. So in the same way I can say Vx is equal to ux plus ax into t, and Vx means velocity of the particle along x-axis at any time t. This is our Vx, this is our Vy at any time t. So Vx is equal to ux means v0 cos alpha, ax means it is g sin beta into t, because the velocity along x-axis and acceleration along x-axis is having the same direction. In the same way Vy is v0 sin alpha minus g cos beta into t. This is Vx and this is Vy. In the same way I can say x coordinate as ux into t plus half ax into t square. In the same way y coordinate as uy into t minus 1 by 2. We know ay is minus g sin beta, g cos beta, it is g cos beta into t square. If I substitute the value of Vx and Ax, I will get x and y coordinate. So when the particle strikes the inclined plane, again I will substitute y0, it will give me the time of flight. If I put the time of flight in this expression, it will give me the total range on inclined plane. So in this way we can calculate the distance, the velocity, position, time of flight, maximum height from the inclined plane. When we have to calculate the maximum height, we will substitute Vy as 0, we will calculate t and substitute the value of this t in this expression y. It will give me the maximum height attained by the particle from this inclined plane. Now see an example of projectile on horizontal ground. On an inclined plane of inclination 30 degree, this angle of inclination is 30 degree. This is an inclined plane, inclined at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal ground. A ball is thrown at an angle 60 degree with the horizontal. This angle is 60 degree. This is a ball, it is projected from here, from the foot of the plane with a velocity of this, means v0 is equal to 10 root 3 meter per second. If g is equal to 10 meter per second square, we know g will act vertically downward and g is 10 meter per second square. Then find the time in which the ball will hit the inclined plane. Now suppose this ball is projected at an angle of 60 degrees, so it will move like this, strike this inclined plane somewhat here. We have to calculate the time of flight. We know time of flight can very easily be calculated if I assume this as our x-axis, this as our y-axis, then I can write ux. Ux is, we know this angle is 60 degree, so this angle is 30 degree. So I can write ux is v naught cos 30 and uy is v naught sin 30. We know when the particle and ax is also equal to ax is minus g sin 30, because here beta is also, this is beta and beta is also 30, alpha is 60 degree and ay is minus g cos 30 degree. When the particle strikes the inclined plane, we can say y is equal to uy into t plus 1 by 2 ay into t square. To calculate this time, we have to substitute y as 0. So I will put y is equal to 0 in this expression. So it will give me uy into t plus 1 by 2 ay into t square. So either t is equal to 0, but at t is equal to 0 it is projected. So other time is t, which is equal to uy. What is uy? Is v naught sin 30 divided by 2 v naught sin 30 divided by ay. Ay means g cos 30 degree. So this is equal to 2 v naught means 10 root 3, sin 30 means 1 by 2 divided by g means 10, it is given, and cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So this root 3 by 2, this root 3 by 2 will vanish, this 10 will vanish, we get time as 2 seconds. This is the answer. See another question. If at a point a velocity of a particle is u, the velocity of the particle here is u, at an angle alpha, let this angle be alpha, then so that it will be moving at right angle to its initial direction after time t this. So in this case, let's assume this as our x-axis. Let's assume this as our x-axis and this as our y-axis. So this is the speed of projection of the particle with u. Now g will act vertically downward. So we can say in this case, what is ux? Ux is u. Uy is 0. Ax is minus g sin alpha. It is minus g sin alpha. Because if this angle is alpha, I will take this as 90 minus alpha. So this term is g cos 90 minus alpha means sin alpha. In the same way, ay is minus g cos alpha. Ax is in this direction, ay is in this direction. So when the particle is moving, when the velocity, the question says if the velocity, initial velocity is along x-axis, when the particle, let the velocity along x-axis is ux plus ax into t. When the particle is moving along y-axis, it is perpendicular to initial velocity. So when the particle is moving perpendicular to initial direction, means it is moving along y-axis, means velocity along x-axis becomes 0 at that instant. Initially the particle is moving along x-axis. At after some time, if its velocity become perpendicular to initial direction of initial velocity, so it means the particle is moving along y-axis. So the particle is moving somewhat like this. When the velocity of the particle along x-axis is 0, means it is moving only along y-axis. So at this instant, the velocity of the particle is perpendicular to initial velocity. So if I put Vx is equal to 0, it will give me t, that is equal to ux. Ux means u divided by ax, minus x means it is g sin alpha. G sin alpha. So it is u cosec alpha by g. This is the time when the velocity of the particle is along y-axis and Vx becomes 0 and Vy is not 0. So initial velocity is along x-axis and the velocity at this instant is along y-axis. So these two velocities are mutually perpendicular.